Hi guys. Today is Saturday, February 1st, 2025, and I'm here to do my January WIP update. Um, so happy 2025. I know January seems like it has 800 days in it sometimes, but it's finally February. Um, I hope y'all had a good new year and a good start to the new year. I know that it's been a wild month, but uh, so January was an okay month as far as stitching goes. I worked on 11 projects, which is crazy. I had 3 new starts. I still only did 2,600 stitches, which isn't great, but it's better than what I did last January. Last January, I only did 1,300 stitches. And so it's an improvement from last January. I'm still trying to get back up to 4,000, and I haven't quite made it yet. But we're gonna keep working at that. Um, so um, So I'll show you what I worked on. I only have one little tiny bit of haul. Plans, yeah. Maybe a little bit of life stuff. I don't know. But I'm just gonna show you these, and I'm gonna try not to sneeze. But I'm gonna try not to sniffle too much. Uh, I'm just gonna show you these in the order that they're stacked here. So my first project is my work project for this year, or at least for now. Um, because last year was the fairy and I finished her, so I got a new work project, and it's Kimono by Donna Gallagher. And I did 326 stitches on her, and this stays at work most of the time, and I'm only in the office 2 days a week most of the time, so um, I did 326 stitches of pink in the bottom of her kimono. Um, and one lunch period, because uh, I stitch for 30 minutes. And one lunch period, I can get 2 rows, which is 46 stitches. And usually I have a few minutes after that, but I just stop at the 2 rows. Um, so it's 46 stitches, usually twice a week. So the progress is slow, but um, you know, it's got 326 stitches that it didn't have before. So there it is. And this will go back to work with me on Tuesday. I'm glad I'm off on Monday because our system went down on Thursday after lunch, like 2 o'clock on Thursday, and it did not come back up as of when I left work yesterday, when I got off work yesterday. It was still not up. It was down all day yesterday, and they gave you things like you could do these trainings, you could do this or that, but you can't really do any work, and it was just really boring. So I'm glad I'm off on Monday. Maybe the state will get their act together and get our system back up. So when I get to work on Tuesday, I can actually do my work. That's a new start. That's a new start. All right. So this next project is, I think there's a picture in here. Isn't there a picture in here? Maybe there's not. This next project is Travel Memories by Dimension Gold Collection Petites. My friend that this is for just had a birthday this week, and I told him if he finds some room in his schedule, I'll take him out to dinner for his birthday. So we'll see when that ever happens. But I did 200. Well, I did 100 stitches in a combination of full stitches and half stitches. I did some of the half stitches down here, and I started on this corner down here. But so the whole stitches for challenge groups, the whole stitches count as one stitch, and the half stitches count as a half stitch. So you need two half stitches. So it's some combination of whole stitches and half stitches to make 100 stitches. So there's where I am on that. I need to focus a little harder on this piece. I want to finish it, and it hasn't. Does it fit in February categories? Actually, I think it may have made its way into February categories. Um, but I might need to add this to my focus pieces. This is a new start. This is an oldie but goodie that I show often on here. This is my dogs. So this is Retrievers, chartered by Sporting Masters, kitted by Janlin. Sorry about the glare. And I think I only did 100 stitches on this. I think, sorry about the sniffling. I only did 100 stitches on this. I worked on his neck somewhere. I guess I filled in part of this, and I did this. So there's my dog. This is one of my focus pieces. This is supposed to be getting 400 stitches a month, and it did not get there for January. It only got 100. I wanted to get back to it, and I didn't plan well, and I didn't stitch enough. So it did not get its goal for January. This is a piece that did not get any attention last year. And I don't know if it's going to make it to a finish this year. I would love it if it did. I don't know if it will, but I'm going to try to give it some attention this year. This is Tom and House Sampler 1864 by Chessie and me. And I put 200 stitches in this. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is going to be good enough. But, I put 200 stitches in this. I just put some more stitches on the house. Excuse me. And, so I don't know if this is going to make it to a finish, but we're going to at least work on it because it didn't get any attention last year. And this is also a gift for a friend. he keeps sending me pictures of stuff that he wants me to stitch for him. And one of them is a xenomorph, which isn't my thing, and I don't really love the idea of stitching it, but I might surprise him with it. Okay. This, as much as any piece was, as much as there was a big winner this month, which there really wasn't. Sometimes I come on here and I'm like, I did 100 on this piece and 200 on this piece, but I did 1,200 on this piece. This month, that didn't really happen. So this month, what big winner there was, this piece was it. This is Tetelestai by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. And it only got 500 stitches. Like, it didn't get a ton of stitches. But this piece, I'm hoping, because this piece was a problem project. If you remember, in 2023, I struggled with it. Like, I kept frogging it and restitching it and frogging it and restitching it. And I finally figured out that I hadn't frogged enough. The reason why I kept having to restitch it is because I hadn't really fixed the mistake. And so I took a couple of days in 2024 and frogged it until I got to the mistake. And so, but I hadn't put any new stitches back in it. These are the first new stitches I've put back in. And so I'm hoping this is going to move from being a problem project to making its way towards a finished project. And so I did 500 stitches on it. You can't see that. I did 500 stitches on it, and I did all of this stuff down here. I just sort of, because this project has been a problem, and I'm afraid of making a mistake, I've just been kind of working my way up, through each shape and just going shape by shape and just slowly making my way along the bottom of the cross. And I've made it to under the cross. And so there's more flowers over here like this. And then, of course, it starts going up to look like that. It's approximately symmetrical to this. So I've just been kind of going shape by shape and just making my way across. And hopefully we will finish this. There's only about 3,000 stitches left. So it's not a huge, it's not a long way from finishing. It's only 3,000 stitches. So I'm going to try to push it along towards a finish. This is on Wisteria, and I think it's by Mystic Fabric, with 3865. And I sort of have mixed feelings about this. I sort of wish I had used a darker color so that there would be more contrast. The contrast is kind of lacking. But that's Tetelestai. That was my New Year, New Start in 2023. All right, this piece, another oldie but goodie that you saw a lot in 2023. Barely got any attention in 2024. Only got about 700 stitches in 2024. But this is a focus for a finish this year. This is Under the Evergreen by Teresa Winsler. I did 475 stitches on it. I finished all these ornaments here in the right side of the tree because I had done the green part. So I went back and I filled in all the ornaments, the gingerbread man and the candy cane and the round ornaments, and I did the border. This is This is the piece that I'm dividing into 12 to finish it by the end of the year. And this is the part that I chose for January. Um, it's the width of the page by 28 rows. And so that's where I got to on it. For February section, I decided that I'm going to choose the left side over here. And I'm just going to backstitch the entire tree. All of the ornaments, the garland, the border. So this is what I'm going to do this month is I'm going to backstitch all of that. Um, and it's going to dip into the sections below it, but that's okay. But I'm just going to do all the backstitch. And I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to keep putting off the backstitch sections until December. So I'm like, okay, well, I did a cross stitch section. So let me take February and just backstitch the entire tree. And I'm trying to be mindful to make sure to be knocking out backstitch as well as cross stitches. It's really easy to focus on the cross stitch, but it needs to be backstitched, and I don't want to be doing that all in December. So if you watch Sarah at our Stitching Kingdom, I don't know if this comes across in the videos, but because I know Sarah, I know that her piece that she divided into 12, uh, it's the first thing she does every month. When the month changes, that's the first thing she stitches on is her piece that she divided into 12. And so I think I'm going to channel her, and I'm going to do that this month. And today, when I'm done with this, I'm going to start working on backstitching um, this Christmas tree. So there's Under the Evergreen by Teresa Winsler. I don't think the ornaments are going to be hard. The border is going to be a pain, and particularly the section in the section here with the holly leaves. I think that's going to be a pain. But the tree part shouldn't be too hard. It's just the ornaments and the garland. Like, you don't have to backstitch the leaves or anything. Um, and some of it's already done. I already backstitched some of the, like the gingerbread men. I've already done some of the backstitch. There was a time in 2022 maybe where I was backstitching at work. This was my work project for a very short time. It didn't last very long. And I don't remember why it stopped. I think I got discouraged with it. But I had decided I was going to take it to work and I was going to knock out the backstitch at work. And I think I just got discouraged with it because I'm only in the office twice a week, and it didn't seem like worth it. And I still kind of feel that way, but I'm doing it anyway. I mean, it doesn't progress as fast as it would if I was in the office 5 days a week. But I finished my fairy, so you know, it works. I did 475 stitches on Under the Evergreen. I don't remember if I said that. And I am not counting backstitch. This is one of the reasons why uh, I'm, you know, I'm kind of letting the categories determine whether I work on that or what part of that not whether I work on it, but what part of it I do, because if it's in the categories, I'll choose a cross stitch section, and if it doesn't fit in the categories, then I'll choose a backstitch section and not count it. I don't want to have to count backstitch. So my next piece is Poppy by Nora Corbett. And this one got 200 stitches. And so I filled in the part of her dress right here. So this is another one that I'd like to finish. She's sort of third in the priority list to finish. There's Travel Memories, Into Telestai, and then Poppy. So there she is. And then this piece. This is my other focus piece. And I realized when I did my WIP parade, I kind of showed it sideways. Um, and so this is Savannah's Curtsy by Mirabilia. This is a focus piece for also 400 stitches a month. And this one, she got her stitches. I did the last 100 last night. But she got her stitches. I'm going to put this behind here and try to show it better. Um, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. But I did her, oh yeah, I guess you can see some of it. I did her, my lighting isn't the best today, I guess. I did her arm, because I had done all of this, but now I got to the point where her skirt's going to start to go back up this way. And I don't like to work up, I want to work down. So I decided I'm going to do her arm. So I did her arm, and then I can do her skirt down. And so I've started working on her skirt. If you see, there's a chunk cut out of the corner there. There's a spot right here where the horizontal thread got cut. And so I did this last night actually. I took a little bit out of the corner here and used it as a patch in the back to fill in those, to be able to do those stitches right there. So, I did 400 stitches on her, and she will be a focus. I'm aiming for 5,000 stitches on both her and the dogs this year. Um, and I'm hoping with this one, I don't think so much with the dogs, but this one I'm hoping if I put 5,000 stitches in her, that will get her in a place where I can finish her next year. And maybe it'll get her in a place where she could be my piece that I divided in 12 next year. I don't know if it's going to get quite that far, but hopefully. She's my so um I had 4 big mirror projects that I started. If you hold an open project bag upside down, the step falls out. And that's exactly what just happened. My floss, all the floss fell on the floor down here. I'll pick it up later. I'm not going to stop and pick it up now. But, um, I had 4 big mirror projects I had started in the early and mid 2000s. I had Maidens of the Seasons, which I started in 2004. Deepest Love, which I started, I think, in 2005 or 2006. Savannah, which I started in 2005 or 2006. And I think in 2006. And The Kiss, which I started in 2000. And Maidens of the Seasons got finished in 2017. And Deepest Love got finished in 2019. I want to finish this one, and then The Kiss will be next. So I'm trying to make my way through my big mirrors. And then I finished the Christmas Elf Fairy and the Miss New Year's Fairy and Bluebell Pixie. And I have a couple pixies going now. But I'm trying to make my way through these big mirrors. Because there are other big mirrors that I want to start. So, um, all right. So she's my current focus, and then we'll move on to The Kiss after that. So, my new starts. This first one, and I'm going to show you the bag for this one because I thought it was perfect. My first New Year, New Start, which apparently I didn't move into this folder. I have all my WIPs, like my active WIPs, in one folder on my phone, so it's easy to find. And apparently, this one didn't get moved. But my New Year New Start was Pretty Little Los Angeles by Satsuma Street. And I feel like I told this story in maybe my 2024 wrap up video. But I remember when this chart came out because she was putting out the different cities, and I was waiting for Los Angeles to come out because, of course, I live in Los Angeles. And I was so excited when it finally came out, and I bought the chart. I remember I was at work, and I bought the chart, and I opened the PDF, and we were trying to figure out what the buildings were. Well, no, I guess I didn't open the PDF, but we were just looking at the cover picture, and we were trying to figure out what the buildings were. And I guess when I got home, I bought the PDF and opened it because they tell you the PDF what the buildings are. And so I was so excited. I'm like, I need to start this. But that was like in 2015. And I kitted it up, and it's been sitting here, and I didn't start it. And so I have this, and I've talked about this too, I'm sure. I have this whole bin of kitted projects here. And so when I have like a New Year start or a birthday start where I am choosing something to start, um, I'm trying to be mindful to go into that bin and pick from there. Because a lot of times when I do a new start, it's I want to start this project, and that's why I'm doing a new start. But when I'm picking something to start, I want to try to pick from there. And some of those things I've taken apart and put. I'm like, I don't need to have this kitted. If I want to do it, I can kit it back up. Or it's already, I bought it as a kit. It doesn't need to be in a project bag, and I've just been putting them back in my stash. But so I chose Pretty Little Los Angeles. I got this project bag from Goran, and I thought this is the perfect California project bag. It's got the flamingos, and it's got the palm leaves, and it's got, because, there's a lot of health, lifestyle, vegetarian diet kicks out here, and so it's got the fruit, and, there's a lot of fruity people out here too, but, um, um, so I thought this is like the perfect project bag for Pretty Little Los Angeles. So I started this for my New Year New Start. I didn't actually get it started until January 4th. But I did 109 stitches on it. And I started on what I'm guessing is supposed to be the sun. And so that's all I did on it. It sort of looks like it's either supposed to be the sun, or maybe it's supposed to be like or represent the Ferris wheel at the Santa Monica Pier. I don't know. But there's my New Year New Start. Alright. So then, if you watch Sammy at Sammy J Stitches, and if you don't watch her, you should. Um, she's doing this tissue box thing. And she did it last year. She's doing it again this year. Where last year she did it for Leap Day. For the 29th of the month, because of course February had 29 days. And she started 4 projects on February 29th last year. And if she finished one of them, they're all smalls. If she finished one of them, she could start the next one in the series on the 29th of the following month. Or, on the next 29th of the month. And so she's doing the same thing this year. She's doing it on the 14th of the month. She started 9 projects this year. I didn't participate last year, but this year I did. I only started 2. And so on the 14th of January, um, I decided that the piece that I'm going to use this year, and this is another one that's been sitting in this bin over here, Kitted Projects forever and a day, and I never started it. The piece that I'm using is the Green Flip It series by Lizzie Kate. And I started with is it did I not put it back in here? Maybe I put it in here. Yeah, here it is. I started with Plant a Tree. So I did 100 stitches. This is on a piece of Fortnite fabric. This is on Fortnite. It's GBTR or yeah, GTBR something. I don't know what that stands for. I don't remember. But it's a Fortnite fabric. And every time anybody mentions Fortnite fabric in their video, like Kate Sherrill, um, at Fickle Stitches, another one you should be watching if you're not. Um, or anytime somebody says, "Oh, this is a Fortnite fabric," I'm like, we need to have a moment of silence for Fortnite fabric. Um, but because they are sorely missed. But so I only did 100 stitches, and that's where I got to. So I think I'm going to. I wasn't sure if I was going to do like Sammy does, where she has to finish it before she can start the next one, or do like Sarah wants to do and do just the outline of she's doing the Nora Corbett reindeer and just do the outline of it on the 14th of every month. And so, um, but I think I'm gonna probably go more like Sarah and just start each one. I mean, there's only 6 of them, so uh, I could start the next one on the 14th of February. And then if I want to, I don't know that I'm going to want to do this, but after these 6 are done, I have more Lizzie Kate things, and I could start a different Lizzie Kate if I wanted to. Um, so there's Plant a Tree, and I'm doing it in the called for, I think they're overdyes. What are they? They're a combination of Weeks Dye Works, Gast, and Classic Color Works. So I'm doing it in the called for threads. So there's my Lizzie Kate start. So on February 14th, we will start Ride a Bike. If I remember. Remember. This past month in January, I thought I had missed it because my phone said January 14th, and I'm like, oh no, today's the start day. I missed it. And then I realized it had been the 13th and it had crossed midnight, so now it was the 14th. But I didn't miss the start. Okay. And then my other one, my last project that I worked on, the other designer that I chose is Mill Hill. So I got Lizzie Kate and I got Mill Hill. And so I started Rainy Weather. And I chose this one because I had intended to start it probably sometime in 2023, 2022, and I had pulled it. I thought I had pulled it all apart and separated all the flaws and whatever. I really hadn't. I had opened it, but I hadn't pulled it apart like I thought I did. Um, and so I I started rainy weather and I did 100 stitches in his raincoat. So this paper I think got hit by humidity or something because some of the paint has come off and it looks kind of splotchy and I don't love that and it's not all going to be covered. So I don't know about this, but there it is. Um, and I mean, I don't know. I live in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles. It's not that humid here. I mean, we have humidity, but it's not like living in the South, or even living in the Midwest. My mom's from Ohio, and the humidity in Ohio is horrible. So that's what I stitched on 11 pieces, which is kind of crazy for me. I think usually I come on here with 6 or 7. I don't usually have 11. Um, but that's what I stitched on. So, plans, we have those. The beginning of the year is always full of new plans. Categories. Where are categories? Here's categories. All right. So, February categories. Um, oh, well, just quickly, the January categories were New to You, which is Pretty Little Los Angeles, was my first Satsuma Street. Samplers was Tom and House. Closest to a finish was Tetelestai. Fantasy was Poppy. And Holiday was Under the Evergreen. Last year I was using Thine is the Trick for Holiday and I had to find a new one. So for February, for seasonal, I'm going to use Rainy Weather. For Celestial, I'm going to use Silver Moon Tea. I need to clear some stuff off my phone. Silver Moon Tea by Nora Corbett. Come on. All right. Older than 2 years, I'm going to use, I think I can use Tetelestai. I think I can use Tetelestai. I might have to change that. Longest since worked on, I do not like this category, and so I always use my alternate for this, which is dogs. And has words, I'm going to use travel memories. So I think, again, like I was doing at the end of last year, where my focus pieces were getting a lot of stitches, and the rest of the categories were only getting 1 or 200 stitches. I think I'm going to do that this month. Where I'm going to focus on travel memories and Tetelestai and Silver Moon Tea. Silver Moon Tea is another one that maybe I can finish it this year. Kind of like Tom and House. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but maybe I can. Because I'm doing Stitch to the Moon in Full Coverage Fanatics. And so I'm going to bring that one out because I can put it on Stitch to the Moon. Um, and and then Rainy Weather will probably only get 100 stitches. And what was the other one? The dogs. Well, the dogs are supposed to get 400 stitches because that's a focus piece. But I'm going to try to, you know, focus on the ones that I want to focus on and pay less attention to the ones that I'm not trying to focus on. So The other thing that I was trying to do in January, and I'm going to do it again in February, is temperature stitching. In January, I did not do very well. I did not plan very well. I did not assign my numbers very well. So, if you're not familiar with the temperature stitching, this isn't like Stitch and Mommy where you stitch, to uh, record the temperatures. This is you pick you assign pieces for each number from 0 to 9, and then whatever the second number of the temperature is that day, that's the piece that you stitch on. And you can, I think most of us are doing 100 stitches, but you can do 30 minutes or an hour or whatever you want to do. Uh, so, so when I picked my pieces for January, I really only wanted to have 5 pieces and assign them each 2 numbers. But, and ideally, those pieces would have been categories. I don't do enough stitching to do categories and do temperature stitching separately. Like if you watch Sammy stacks hers, and in fact, she picks different pieces. She doesn't pick her temperature stitching pieces for her categories. But I don't do enough stitching to do all of that. She does, I don't. So I'm trying to make them double dip as much as possible. And I didn't really do a good job on that in January. I only had three numbers that also double dipped with my categories. And I ended up dropping the temperature stitching in order to finish my categories, because I don't do enough stitches to do both. So I think I did 13 days of the temperature stitching. And I didn't do them on the day that they were called. In fact, I never do them on the day that they're called, because I always wait till the next day for whatever the recorded temperature is. But I did 13 out of 31 days. So February, I redid my numbers. The other mistake that I made in January is I ended up with 8 projects, and I had 2 of them on there twice. And the 2 that I put on there twice were Savannah and Retrievers, because they're my focus pieces. But I should have made the 2 that I put on there twice. I should have made it Travel Memories and Tetelestai, because those are the ones that I'm trying to finish. So this month, for February, I ended up with 7 pieces, and I think I put Tetelestai, Travel Memories, and Savannah on there twice. Oh, I'm trying to remember where I'm going. Alright. I put, Silver Moon Tea, Travel Memories, and Tetelestai are on there twice. So instead of only having 3 numbers that match my categories, I think I have 7 numbers that match my categories. So 0 is Retrievers, 1 is Savannah, number 2 and number 6 are Silver Moon Tea, number 3 and number 7 are Travel Memories, number 4 and number 9 are Tetelestai, 5 is Poppy, and 8 is Bells of Ireland. So Retrievers, Silver Moon Tea, Travel Memories, and Tetelestai are all categories. So it'll hopefully double dip a little bit better. I haven't decided. I still have my January list. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to catch that up or if I'm going to start fresh in February. So we'll see. I kind of would like to catch it up, because although those projects need the stitches, the projects that are left on there, because of course I did the ones that match the categories. There's one Tetelestai left that got called after I finished stitching on that, and I just didn't have time to do it. But I think it was the 30th. But the projects that are left on there's a lot of Savannah, a lot of Silver Moon Tea, a little bit of Bells of Ireland. I think that's all. I think everything else I did. Um, but I think it's mostly Savannah. Oh, I think the dogs are on there. Retrievers, I think, is on there. So I kind of want to catch it up because they need the stitches. Um, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. So we'll see. And hopefully February will double dip a little bit better. Um, so, and then of course today I'm going to backstitch my under the evergreen. And then for the 14th, I will probably start the Lizzie Kate Ride a Bike. The Mill Hill one, I'm going to finish first. The Mill Hills, I'm going to make myself finish them before I start a new one. I'm not trying to have 12 Mill Hills hanging out there. But the Lizzie Kate ones, I think I will do them like Sarah's doing and do, start one each month. Um, so I think that's it for plans. I don't have any new starts planned. Um, yeah, I don't. I wasn't intending to do 3 new starts in January. I don't know. I actually don't know that I was intending to do 3 new starts in 2025, but here we are. um, but so we will see, and I'm gonna keep trying to work towards that 4,000 stitches. I'm trying to get back there. So, um, life. I don't know that I have a lot from that. My vacation ended. I had to go back to work on January 7th. I was off for a month. It was a little bit painful to go back to work. I survived. Um, Work is the same. The state seems to be having a lot of problems. I don't know what the deal is. My coworker was like, well, this is curious. So, in the middle of January, our payment system went down for several days. The network that processes payments went down. So, um, we couldn't process payments. Customers couldn't make the state's website where you can make a payment. That was down. You could go and make payments through third parties like MoneyGram, but it wouldn't be processed until the network got back up. And that lasted for like 5 or 6 days. And then this week, our system that we use to do our work to manage our cases, that went down. And my coworker's like, this is curious that they both went down this close together. So I don't know, but it's certainly been inconvenient. I had a customer when the payments were down. He called me on Monday, I think, wanting to make a payment, and I said, you can't because the system's down. And he says, okay, well, I'll call back on Friday. And he called back on Friday. Nope, the system's still down. You still can't pay. I think I sent him to MoneyGram, or I sent him somewhere where he could pay, but I told him it's not going to process. So yesterday was a very long day at work because the system's down. You can't do any work. I did some trainings and, yeah, I went back to work, trying to do some stitching. 2 weeks ago today, on the 18th, was the Take Your House Back All Day Declutter. And I got my butt out of bed at 6 a.m. because it starts at 8 a.m. Central Time, and I live on Pacific Time. So I got my butt out of bed at 6 a.m. And Friday night before the all-day declutter, I thought, because one of the things you have to do is you have to have a plan for food. So I thought, I'm going to order pizza for dinner, and then I will have it for dinner Friday night, but then I'll also have it as a quick meal or quick snack for the all-day declutter on Saturday. So the first hour of the all-day declutter was pantry, fridge, and freezer. And so I got in there and I cleaned out my fridge and I threw out my pizza. I'm like, I'm an idiot. So, because I thought, oh, I'll have that for dinner later, and then I'm like, wait, no, I think I threw it out. Um, yeah, I threw out my pizza while I cleaned out the fridge. But I did clean out the fridge and the pantry. I didn't do the freezer. Um, I had a bunch of dishes I needed to do from Christmas because I told you in my December video that the shower water was leaking into the kitchen cabinet because I share a wall. And I ended up having to replace the shelf paper and all those dishes. They weren't really dirty. Like, they didn't have food on them. They just uh, had gotten hit with this water leak. And so they'd been sitting on my counter. And so I replaced the shelf paper and I washed all the dishes and cleared off my counter. This all day declutter was heavier on the trash than the donations. I cleaned out my media cabinet. I had a lot of media, more than I remembered having. Some of it I can't play. I don't have a cassette player. And honestly, I don't have a CD player except for my other laptop has a CD drive in it. I can play CDs on there. But I don't really do that. Like, the music that I want to listen to, I just go find it on YouTube. Almost everything is available on YouTube. Like on Vimeo or, like almost everything that I want to listen to is available on YouTube. So I don't listen to CDs. So all of those went in the bag for donations. I have some VHS tapes. Some of those went in for donations. Some of them I threw out. Um, DVDs, like, yeah. The funniest thing that I found is I had this like those photo boxes that you get from like Michael's. I had one of those full of like random cassettes, either albums that I didn't have the little case for, like the little, or some of them were other kinds of cassettes. And I found some sermon tapes back in the day when they used to record the sermon on cassette from church from the 1990s. There were some from 1994 from the man who was my youth pastor, and when he preached in the Sunday service. I have a couple from him. And then I have a couple from 98 and 99 from when a couple of the other guys in our church preached. And I showed those to them, and they were like, yeah, you need to, yeah, cringe. Our church has changed a lot since 1998. Like, our doctrine and our, structure and a lot of things have changed. So they're looking at that. They're like, no, don't listen to that. Cringe. So that was funny. Um, so yeah, like there wasn't a lot of donations. There was a lot of trash. I cleaned off this table over here by the door where the mail piles up. I picked up the living room, like so. There weren't a lot of donations. I didn't really get a ton of stuff out, but my space looked better because I picked it up, and um, so it was an improvement. It wasn't as dramatic as some previous all day declutters, but it was still an improvement. Um, so those are always fun. And then last Saturday, Hands Across the Sea was releasing their red box. This is their third red box. And I had seen Nicola's video where she was talking about when she was going to release it. And so I set my alarm, and 1 p.m. UK time is 5 a.m. LA time. And so I set my alarm and I woke up at 5 a.m. and her website was slow. It was overrun with people. And it took me an hour, but I finally got in there and got one. And I didn't know. I thought this was going to be like one of those things that if you didn't get in there, like it was going to sell out in 10 minutes and you wouldn't get one. I didn't know that that wasn't the case. And if I had known that it actually wasn't going to sell out for 24 hours, I would have just slept and I would have just gotten one when I got up when the website wasn't overrun with people. But I got one. It's not here yet. It's sitting in LA waiting to get processed through customs. Even if I had it, I couldn't show it to you because she asked us not to show it until March 1st. So that, everybody can get theirs and everybody can be surprised. So she asked us not to post any spoilers. So I'll show it to you in my March video. Um, so that was the only haul I had besides this little piece of fabric that I'm going to be stitching Friday night. It's with a Macchiato by Be Stitch Me, and it's just a nice neutral. And it's sort of a pinky brown. Um, that's the only bit of haul that I had. I haven't been I haven't been buying stuff. Well, and on the fight night, I limited myself to one piece because I knew it was the day before. It was the day before the red box, and I knew that I was going to buy the red box. So, like, let me just get one piece because I know I'm going to buy the red box. The other thing that I didn't buy because I knew I was going to buy the red box, and I don't know that I would have bought it anyway, was the exclusive in Homespun Needlework is Stacy Nash. And I didn't love it. I don't know that I would have bought it anyway, but I particularly didn't buy it because I knew I was going to get that red box. So, uh, so that's, I think that's it. I've been going on for about an hour now. Um, so we are going to keep stitching and try to, we're still striving for this 4,000 goal. February is a short month, so we'll see. Hopefully I'm going to do a little better at keeping up with the temperature stitching. And I did 13 in January, so hopefully I can do better than that in February. Maybe that'll be the goal. Maybe not to finish, but maybe just to do better than 13. Which should be easier because I think I matched it up with the categories a little bit better. So that's all I have. So happy stitching, and I will see you next month. Bye.